I'm in a rental, I have to make it damage-free to mount, light in weight, durable, and a see-through. I thought about a table runner, but it's not strong enough. I also thought about a doormat, but that's gonna be too heavy if I'm gonna add 8 together. This is gonna be suspended from the ceiling, and like I said, I live in a rental, so I have to make it as light as possible. This is the floor cover that I'm gonna be using because it's perfect. It's thick and hard, and it's also light in weight. This is an outdoor floor covering. I love the pattern, I love the design, and it's a see-through. I'll be using cup hooks to hold the floor covers. Now all I'm gonna do is mount this to the ceiling first. These are gonna be suspended with book rings that I got from the Dollar Tree. I'll be attaching this thick PVC to the ceiling. You can also use wood for this. I'm gonna mark down the points to make it easy for me to mount them. I'll be using command strips to mount what I have up onto the ceiling, and this command strips can hold up to 16 pounds. Now just a pair like this. Can hold up to 16 pounds, and I'm gonna be using 3. This might seem like it's a little bit too much, but I would rather be safe than sorry because I don't want to mount this onto the ceiling and it falls down on me. So I'm gonna be using 3. Out of pressure till I know that it's firmly in place. I made this in a way that it's easy to mount and easy to remove as well. This is a requested video, and I don't really need this because of the layout that I have in my apartment. But I'm just gonna try it out anyway because I kind of like the idea of having a separate space. But in the future, if it's gonna be too much of an inconvenience, I might decide to just remove it. Now I'm gonna be working on the lengths that I need. And when I'm done, I'm gonna be covering them with mirror reflective paper and attaching them to the floor covers. I did not close the mats because I want this to be wider. So in between is where I'm going to be attaching the strips. I'll be using the same strip for the bottom, but if you like, you can use wood and cover it with contact paper and use command strips to attach it to the wall, the floor, and the newly made privacy screen. I later on added another pack because 3 was not enough. Now here's what the privacy screen looks like. I have to admit that this is a cute and interesting way to separate spaces and still have adequate lighting and ventilation.
The light that surrounds me.
You can also add an extra design at the back if you like.
Together we'll go far.
Covering the wall up with this marble contact paper that I got from Walmart. I'll be attaching them to foam boards. For those of you who are new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. I'm using foam boards because my bathtub is not connected to a standing shower, so I can do this. The shower in my home is separated from the bathtub. I'm going to cut it into 2 because I want to give the illusion like I actually used tiles on the wall. I started off with foam boards that I got from Walmart. Now I'm going to continue the remaining ones with Dollar Tree foam boards. I had to do this because this is going to be way cheaper for me. Someone reached out to me a long time ago saying she had problems layering contact papers on a wide surface. Well, what I normally do was to put something heavy, and then after I've gauged that it's okay till I get to the bottom, I then peel off the contact paper and apply it to the foam board. I did all this according to the measurements of the wall that I have above my bathtub. I then took black marble contact paper that I got from Walmart as well, and I did the same thing. Because this place is rented and I have a lot of this to put up on the wall, I'll be attaching them with Velcro. I'm going to repeat the same thing to each and every one of the boards. I put the first board, which is the black, up like this, and then 2 by the side and 1 at the bottom. And I filled up the middle with the other color. I covered the sides too, but on one of the sides, I'm going to be using a pegboard that I got from IKEA. The spaces by the sides will be covered. Now I also got this from IKEA, and I'll be mounting 2 of them, one at the top of the pegboard and one at the bottom. The pegboards can be used for a lot of things, like even storing washcloths. I like to make something decorative on one of the walls, so I cut a piece of foam board and I got pebbles from the Dollar Tree, and I'll be attaching these pebbles to the foam board with liquid nails. I left it overnight to dry, and then I spray painted it gold. Because of the weight of the stones on the foam board, I had to attach something behind it before hanging it on the wall. It was kind of looking small, so I made another one and joined them together. I wanted adding something extra at the bottom that would be useful, so I got Dollar Tree frames, and I'm going to be making shelves out of them. I detached the glass and the papers from the frame, and then what I'm going to do now is use a cake platter at the top of 2 cutout foam boards. In case you're wondering why I'm gluing 2 foam boards together, well, it is because I'll be using screws for this DIY, and the boards will compensate the height of the screws to make sure it is not seen when I'm done with the project. I'm applying glue to the corners of the frame to keep the frame strong and to also keep the boards in place. I'll be using a wide corner brace, and I got this from Walmart. It comes in a pair, and I'll be using just one per shelf. The board at the back and at the front are hard to make sure that the screw stays in place. Despite all my effort, just a little bit of it still showed. If you don't have access to cake platters, you can also use clipboards. I got this clipboard from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to cut it into size and then cover it up with marble contact paper, and that's going to be for the top. I'll be using the hook that came with the frame for hanging. But if you're going to have something heavy on this, you can remove it and change it out for something stronger and attach it to the board. Now this one is going to be attached right here with screws. I will seal up the sides with hot glue. I hang them just beneath the gold pebbles. I added curtains to the decor, and I wanted a quick and easy tie back, so I got this trim. That's a leftover from another project. And I'll be gluing little ropes at both ends. I'll be using the coat hook for the tie back. I made this really simple because it's going to be in the bathroom. Now my eyes have a lot of things to look at when I'm in the bathtub. I stored items for my bubble bath in apothecary jars. Oh, and FYI, I was standing on something really tall. That was why I'm able to get a better view coming from the top. I'd like to remind you guys again that I made this design with foam boards because the walls are around my bathtub that I use for bubble baths alone. On the right is a shower, and I cannot have something like this there except with real tiles. It is not my home, so I can only afford to do this above the bathtub area. Now this is what it used to look like before, and this is what it looks like now. I hope you all like how this turned out, and don't forget, do not attempt this with a bathtub connected with a standing shower. Well, except you're using real tiles. DIY kitchen backsplash ideas with plastic, rubber mats, and more that are renter friendly. I'm going to be starting by cutting the size that I need from this plastic sheet that I got from Home Depot. This can also be gotten at Lowe's. I'm going to be making provisions for the outlets before I continue. I'll be using 2 different contact papers on this plastic sheet that I just cut, and I'm going to be making a pattern with it. If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. Now I'm going to have the second contact paper attached at the top. Because this is a renter-friendly idea, I'm going to be attaching this to the wall with little tack nails. Because of the nature of the plastic sheet, this bottom part is rough, so I'm going to be covering that bottom part with PVC strips. And I didn't have enough, so I had to improvise and use boards, but I would strongly advise using just PVC strips for the backsplash. I cut a little piece of foam board that is 11 inches long, and I'll be using this to draw out my pattern on the wall. Now the next thing I'm going to do is take a ruler and a sharp X-Acto knife to carve out the marked part. And I'm going to be doing it carefully so that the only thing that's going to come off is the first layer of contact paper. In all honesty, I had another design in mind, a very bold, big design that I wanted making. That's why I had to put a lot of black contact paper at the back before having the other contact paper put on top of it. But because the design didn't work out, I had to do it this way. So for this design, the easiest way to go about it is to have just the brighter contact paper alone on the plastic sheet, and then cut strips from the black contact paper and just attach them on top. It's going to save a lot of time. Now, as you can see, I added silver tape and gold tape as well, just to give this pattern a more interesting look. This is how the gold tape that I used looks like. Now, it was too wide, so I had to cut it into 2. The link for everything that I used for this project is going to be down in the description box below. Now I'm going to be covering this whole thing here with a thick layer of Mod Podge, and I'm going to be doing it 3 times. I'm using gloss Mod Podge because I want it to have a transparent, shiny look when it dries. This is what it now looks like after 3 thick coats of Mod Podge. Now it has a hard surface and it's also easy to clean. So this can definitely be used as a backsplash. Now for a rental, this can easily be removed because it was attached with little tack nails. For the second backsplash idea, I'm going to be using table mats. Now I have loved this pattern for the longest time and I wanted it on the wall. Now all I'm going to do is cut out the sides that I won't be needing and attaching them together on a wall that has already been covered with plastic. When I put two together like this, it's going to be hard to see where they meet from afar, but when you look really close, you might just see it. But from afar, it's going to be hard to notice. Now, if you want to avoid too many lines, you can easily just buy a table runner. This is where I'm going to be covering the table mats on, and like I said, it has already been covered with the plastic sheet. I use little tack nails to attach the plastic sheet to the wall. I'll be attaching the table mats to the plastic sheets with hot glue. Now that I'm done with that, I'm going to be applying 3 thick coats of Mod Podge over the mats. I'll let the first coat dry for about an hour before applying the second coat. I'll wait for another hour before applying the third coat. Because I used hot glue to attach the mat, I had to use 1 tack nails on each mat just to keep it in place while I apply the Mod Podge. I am so impressed with how much the Mod Podge almost kind of flushed with the table mats. You can see from here that the table mats has kind of fused with the plastic sheet, and the Mod Podge is almost at the same level with the surface of the table mat. I just love this because it's such a unique backsplash for a kitchen. And like I said earlier, you can also just use a table runner to reduce the cutout lines. Another simple and quick and easy backsplash idea is to use the peel and stick tiles. Now the work has been done for us, and this is super cheap, but it's made out of plastic. I went to Lowe's and then I saw another type, but it's more realistic looking. It kind of almost gives you the feel of an actual stone. Before I start, I'm going to clean the wall before then attaching the peel and stick tiles to it. The adhesive used on this peel and stick is really tough, so they do not give you room for errors at all. I made errors on a couple of some and it was really hard to take off. So I would recommend this for people who actually own the home, who would want to make it more permanent, because the adhesive just might remove the paint if you're not careful. I'm going to cut out singular pieces to cover up the open spaces. You can also cut the tiles to the size that you want. to give it a more flushed look. They're kind of hard to cut, so some of the cutouts came out looking a little bit shabby, but it's not noticeable. I love the look of this backsplash. And would you guys want to know what 3 of them look like together? Well, guess what? I did all 3 patterns in one kitchen. Only because out of the 3, 1 will be picked that would work for the entire kitchen.
Breathe in the air, the light that surrounds me. If we hold
I love the way all 3 backsplashes turned out. And the fun part is, it's renter friendly and so easy to remove.
empty, but I know that I want.
This is a cool way to have different options for your backsplashes and you're not restricted to just one.
Breathe in the air.
I'm going to be showing you how I covered that up in my bedroom. I'm going to start at 70% off because when the guy was making a cut, he made an error too, and then I placed a Walmart mirror in the middle and traced out the shape. If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. Now I'm going to cut a 1-inch foam to size and glue it to the wood. I'm going to cover 2 sides of the wood with foam, leaving the middle part for the mirror. I'll be making marks for my tufting and holes on those marks using a pair of scissors. I'm going to cover the foam with batting before I start the tufting. I'll be using a white vinyl for this project. It's just like leather, but only cheaper. The vinyl is super easy to use and easy to maintain as well. Now all I'm going to be doing here is locating where the holes are and using a staple gun to staple it down. I'm cutting out the excess fabric that I have in the middle. After that, I'll glue on the fabric that I have left to the wood. I took the mirror that I want to use outside and spray painted it silver. When it was dry, I attached it to the middle with screws. I will hide the staple pins with crystal buttons. I will cover the top with bling wrap. I'll be covering the screw heads with gems. This is what the back looks like. Now to mount it on the wall, I'll be using command strips. I made 2 of this, and they will be mounted besides the headboard that I already have. This is the headboard that I made some time ago. This headboard was perfect for my previous apartment because of the size. Now I came to another apartment and the ceilings are really high and the headboard looks small. So that was why I made something that was going to be side by side with the headboard that I already have to make it look better. I also worked on the top because, like I said, the ceiling is really high, so I decided to use duct tape to make lines on the wall. And I made these lines only at the top. I've had this large picture frame for a while now, and I remember why I bought it, because it was 50% off, and that was a long time ago. Now I have the perfect space for it, above the bed. So I took it out and I spray painted just the frame silver. And then because I love the picture that's inside, I'm going to be covering the outer sides and making a border with mirror mosaic tiles and bling wrap. When I was done with this, I kept it aside and then picked up these boxes from the Dollar Tree that I will use for my push lights. I spray painted them silver and attached it to the wood that I used earlier for the mirror and the tufts. I attached the push lights to the bottom of the box, and these push lights come with the remote to make it easy to turn the lights on and off. And here's how the wall for the bed turned out. You will notice that the 2 designs that I made by the sides are a little bit different from what's in the middle, and that's all my fault. I totally forgot that what I used in the middle was 2 inches foam and not a 1-inch foam. Now that didn't make me happy at all, but later in the future I will switch it up for 2 inches foam to make it look much better. Making a large wall decor. And I'm going to be starting off with foam boards. I'll be gluing and taping 4 boards together. If you're new to my channel, it's so great to have you here. Now don't forget to click on the subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of my latest videos. I'm going to turn it over and use tape on the other side. For my design, I'm going to be drawing lines that are 4 inches apart. And this is going to guide me on how to attach the pieces that I'll be using for the wall decor. I'm going to be using these cute gift and sweet boxes from Party City. And I got 1 of these types, and it comes with 100 pieces. I'm going to be cutting out the parts that I don't need and leaving the squared parts for the design. I'll be making use of the perfectly squared shapes for the pattern that I'll be making. Now that I have the box shapes like this, I'm going to now cut it into 2. Because of the size of the foam board, I cannot attach these pieces on the floor, so I made it stand, and then I'm going to be attaching it this way. These pieces are just for the outer sides. Now I have something else that I want to use for the middle. And these are the boxes. They are kind of the same thing, but they're much larger. And they also have a beautiful pattern on them. Because these ones are much larger, they come in 50 pieces. I got 2 of these boxes from Party City. I'll be cutting out the top and bottom parts that I don't need and leaving just a perfectly squared shaped box. Now that I have these pieces, I'm going to be cutting them now into 2. I'm going to show you guys a close-up of how these pieces are going to be glued on the large board. Now the pieces below are going to be in between the upper pieces. And I'm going to go on and on using the lines that I had drawn earlier as my guide. Remember the plain boxes that I used at the top? I used them again at the bottom. This design is quite strong when they're together. Now this is what it looks like when I mounted it on the wall. You can use hooks or command strips to hang this on the wall. This is the view from the left where the pattern is. You will notice a slight difference when you're looking at it from the right. This is because the right has no pattern on it, so it has an interesting way it looks from that direction. And overall, the 3D effect is awesome. Now the pattern that I made has some sort of border at the top and at the bottom. So I'm gonna make something for the sides. I brought it down and added foam boards by the side and added the pattern to give it a complete look. You can also add lights in this design as well. Now you can make this as large as you want, but I just feel the size is okay for me. And I use just simple items that I got from Party City.